What's up, Union Arena players? This is Kyle D, better known as Universities, and today we're going to be going over basically week number 3. So we had a big tournament in week number 3, actually 2, and we had so much good representation. It's really awesome to see. So without further ado, let's get in the video and talk about it. So first off, let's take a look at the winning decks for week number 3. So yeah, we have Sukuna, Kento Namami, we have Gawain, and then we do have the brother-sister Tanjiro. So this looks like our number 1 picks of the format seems to be Blue JJK. The top dogs are going to be Purple Code, Tanjiro, and then we have the Sukuna, aka Blue JJK. So it's definitely looking like major events are going to be more focused on these 3, and they're going to be the decks to beat. And we'll have to see how One Punch Man will actually affect or resolve this. So if you take a look, we have, Bleach slowly creeping back up underneath it. And again, this will be like your 4th pick deck, but then all of a sudden you got these decks that are just popping in and out, which would be our basically 2.0 kind of level. This would be your B tier. This is definitely your A tiers. So taking a look at it though, not bad across the board, right? I think, to be honest with you, it's just gonna always be these big boy decks, and it really depends on how One Punch Man really affects the meta, because again, the way it's designing right now, it seems it can either going to be the best set of the game for a long period of time, or it's going to be either too slow, or it's going to be balanced. It's kind of got that 3-way street that we don't know how it is because we haven't gotten our hands and tested with it. And I really want to start making content on it, but I don't know where to start. You know what I mean? I definitely want to try out red, because I think I have yet to find like the red deck that resonates with me well enough, but I think that might have a good resonation with me. And I think it's a very unique style of play. So, but taking a look here though, across the board, we have, some unique decks, especially from the 1K and the 2K. And, this is how we got Ashford's and we got, Nosuke into it. So it's kind of cool just to see across the board, right? Now let's take a look at, the 2K event definitely had a lot of players, which affects the overall turn rate, right? If you take a look, it's got basically 4 decks were some sort of blue JJK. So that means it's definitely one of the decks on the higher class, then followed by, 2 codes and 2 Demon Slayer, the Hashira lists. Not the Hashiras, the brother-sister list. So taking that into account, that we have this data here for the top 8, which is not bad at all, right? Then you do have a lot of unique decks that kind of pop in and out for the events. So kind of good to see that we do have even just like Yellow JJK, which was extremely written off when, JP got the cards. Because again, that volume 2 small little trickle binder set that was put into our main set has allowed this deck to kind of breathe. Demon Slayer actually has a little bit of footing in the meta, which is huge for a lot of players. Now, again, here's the 1K. This time a little bit different, more variety, but that could just be because this happened midway through the event and it's only 32 players instead of 64. I mean, hey, it near the end of it, right? So taking a look though, we had 1, 2, 3 of the blue JJK. We had 3 code Gias, which means that they had a good even variety. And then you did have red code and red Demon Slayer, which are usually written off by a lot of players right now that they shouldn't be handling the meta as well. And sometimes, again, confident pilots do show up, and I'm really excited to see these kind of competencies, right? And these are kind of the decks we'll be looking near the end of the video. So good to see. Now, taking a look here, we do have Joseph Ryder Anderson. He's using Union Arena tops as their reference points. This does help out. He does have a lot of good, articles when it comes down to it, and I really do like that he does that. So I'm really excited here to take a look. And then we do have Yuji, Kento, Sukuna's, you know, all the good stuff, right? I taken a look, you know, this deck is pretty solid in across the board. I mean, I might test this out. I don't know if that's the right play, is using this Kento or not, but it's good to see, right? Now, he did have another list. Taking a look here, this was more pure Sukuna list, and this one's more similar to even just what I naturally play with my Kento list. But, you know, it's all up to the perspective, right? That players will play the deck how they want, and I want to say both decks are very competitively viable. You know, first and second at a 17 player tournament, you know, Blue Sukuna and Namini, you know, this is good information, especially using his info, especially read his articles, because I highly recommend them because they're such valuable assets, because he does write amazing articles and I'm never going to disregard his content. Taking a look though, here's some purple code kiosk, because we know this is going to be all or nothing with purple code. You know, we know we're going to see a bunch of blue JJK lists, right? There's nothing too out of the ordinary here. And a lot of players are going to have this information across the board, right? People will have their play styles and picks of how they want to build their decks. And it's just, there's no real wrong way of playing blue JJK. And then we take a look here. We do have blue JJK as well. You know, it's just going to be one of those decks that will appear in the meta long term, and it's just how you're going to have to deal with it, right? Now, taking a look, purple code is purple code. This is like the point of contention usually is, are you playing the Searcher Colin? Are you playing, you know, Reed? You know, I think Ogi is definitely a new pick choice that a lot of players weren't picking before, but now it seems to be more consistently just add Ogi in. And if you look at it, people are starting to cut the, you know, C2, because again, they do have a lot of Lelouches already, so Gawain has plenty of targets to raid over. So, you know, it's up to you how you want to build, right? Now, taking a look here, this list has Ogi in it as well, but they also have, you know, 4C2, the double energy, zero cost. You know, they all add up eventually, right? The lists are pretty similar. Now, we do have the Daikai and Jairoto, or whatever this is, the brother sister demons deck. You know, they are playing Muzan, and it all just adds up, right? The deck has a lot of good points going for it. You know, nothing too fancy, nothing too extreme, and again, players enjoy the deck. Now, we do have purple bleach, the raid list version. It always comes in and out of the format, right? Just you can always expect this to show up always, right? Now, we do have the Byakuya list. This one's more attuned just to a normal Byakuya list. They are using Squad Zero a little bit just to help out in you know, generating cards, right? So just taking a look here, very much a standard Byakuya list that you kind of come to know and love. Just good removal is good removal. Now, we do have Toshiro. This is just base Toshiro with, you know, Yamamoto in the list, which is not bad at all. One that generates energy on the front line, and he's basically helping whenever he wins the battle and removing a threat. You know, banishing it is just perfect for some matchups, and it just leads to being some good value. Now, taking a look here, we do have yellow, the Hashira list. So just taking a look here, Hashira's Hashira. It's just going to do what it wants to do. Again, very cheap, affordable deck. And again, I feel like this is one of the decks that are going to do extremely well into the rare battles. So just be ready for that. Now, taking a look here, you have Lancelot as well. Just Lancelot being Lancelot. I mean, the fact that they are using Cornelia's mech is a big plus advantage, because you needed something for early game, and that was the big problem with this deck. Just didn't have ways of just creating small advantage that way. And I think with the Cornelia mech, either if you just hard play it for a 4K vanilla or raid on her, you know, raid to it, it's going to have some sort of effect when it hits the field, right? It's going to give some added bonus that, again, the Lancelots weren't really doing from the get-go, right? So now you do have Tanjiro, Nezuko, Shenanigans. Again, 5 attack deck is 5 attack deck. It's just really good value. Now, again, here's another Hashira deck. You know, this is Winter's list. Winter does extremely well with this list, but right now, he's taking a small break until One Punch. Now, we do have the Toshi, you know, the Tanjiro and Nezuko list again. Just all great stuff. No AP extensions is really interesting to some players. Everybody has their own opinions. I mean, it does give you some more value to use. Again, deck's effective. You don't usually need sometimes to get those AP extensions. I mean, it's up to you how you want to play, right? Now, again, here is Ashford. This was one of the decks that topped in the 1K. And again, this is a very standard Ashford. Using School Festival at 2 is kind of like people have been using 1 to 2 as kind of that spark. But again, the deck is super aggressive, no AP extensions. They just focus on just slamming body to board, slamming body to board, slamming body to board. And then we have the boys deck. Again, a lot of players have been asking how to build this deck, and I think they actually found a way of making this deck actually super functional, actually. I mean, the fact that we do have to play this card, it really upsets me a little bit. But, you know, we do have Zenitsu's being Zenitsu's, the Inosuke's being Inosuke's. You know, Impact 1 double damage 5k 2 AP is just really good. You know, you do have the Rangoku, you know, just really solid across Donut Boy. Just deck's great. I have no objections on this deck, and I think the red trio is just really solid. Just has a lot of great pieces going for it that lead for the deck to be super strong. So, you know, at the end of the day, enjoy your list. But all in all, guys, hopefully you enjoyed the video. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll catch you next one. Peace.